talking about factoring, and we're going to talk about greatest common factor, GCF, and quadratic form. And we want to be able to recognize number relationships to provide equivalent expressions. And so we look at example 1, and the directions say, factor the following expression by greatest common factor. And here we can see that basically we want to see, is there something in all of the terms that we can take out that would basically are divisible by. So if we look at this first term up here, both the terms have an m. So we know that we'll be able to divide this whole thing by m. And then we also see that we have a 4 as a coefficient here, -4, and then we have a 2 as a coefficient here. So we can take a 2 out. So we're going to take 2m out of both of these, and we'll bring it out front. So if we take 2m squared, so we have the 2m, which we took out from the binomial there. So if we have the 2m out front, now we got to decide what would be left. So the first term is 2m squared, and basically we're going to divide that by 2m. So what would be left? The 2's cancel the 2, and the 1m in the denominator cancels 1m in the numerator. So basically we're just left with m. So what goes in this spot here is going to be just m. And then we have our second term, which is -4, -4m. And we're still going to divide this one by 2m because that's what we factored out. So the 2 cancels into the -4, but we're still going to be left with -2. -4 divided by 2 is -2. And then the m cancels the m, and we're left with 1, which we don't have to write down. So then this part over here, that gives us -2. So then the factored form, if we use the GCF, we took the 2m out, and then we're left with m minus 2 as the binomial inside, and then that's what we're left with. If we look at example 2, again, we want to see what do we have in common. So for the variables, we have b and b, so we can definitely divide a b out of both of those. And then because we know our multiplication tables, we know that we have a 6 and a 42, so we know that we can divide a 6 out of all those. So we take the 6b out of those two terms, and we have to find out what we're left with. So we have 6b there. And now we have to find out what's left. So 6b squared divided by 6b, and that is going to be the 6's divide and the b's. So we're just left with 1b left. So that b is what goes in that first term. Then for the second term, we have a positive 42b, and we're going to divide that by 6b as well. The b cancels the b, and the 6 goes into the 42, so then we're left with 7 there. So that's what ends up being our last term in the binomial. And there's no minus sign, so then we understand that that's going to be a positive 7.